So my name's Elliott Ireton and I'm serving at St John the Baptist in Burscough. So my journey to ordination began when I was about 18, when I first felt called into full-time ministry serving in Scargill House Christian community at the time. But I then got involved working in a church for about 10 years, and it was there where I was able to sort of hone different skills and get different opportunities, leading groups and preaching, that sort of thing. And I was fortunate enough to have people in my life who could recognise a call to ordination in me and were able to actually encourage that and help me develop my gifts until it came to the time when I felt it was right to really pursue it. You know, I've been fortunate. My dad's a vicar, so he's been pretty handy at sort of helping me through different stages of it. But I trained full-time at Cranmer in Durham and Cranmer Hall, and my wife and my children have been a great support for me. They have to go out quite a lot if you're going to train, and they've felt really part of what God's been doing in my life and what God's calling me to in Burscough and beyond, really.
Would you have any message for anybody that might be watching this considering ordination themselves?
I think if somebody was considering ordination, I think one of the most important things I would say is having people that you can trust and that can recognise the gifts and calling in you, that are able to encourage you, to support you, and actually ask you challenging, critical questions to help you sort of define what it is that God's calling you to. And this has been an incredibly challenging and exciting journey, and I'm definitely glad I didn't ignore God's call. So that would be my other thing, was to say, don't ignore. If you sense God's calling, do something about it. Another important part of my journey has been being willing to go where it is that God wants me to go. I have a wife and 4 children, and it's not always easy to just up sticks and leave. But I think that if we're wanting to be part of what God's calling us to be part of, we have to be willing to take courageous steps and to step out in faith, knowing that God will provide. And sometimes that means going to places that perhaps we wouldn't have thought of going before. Burscough is very different from London, where I've sort of spent most of my life with my family. And so it's exciting being willing to step out, because we don't know where God's going to take us, and we can trust Him because He's good.
So tell me a little bit about the parish that you'll be serving at. What are you most looking forward to getting involved in there?
So the parish in Burscough is a really warm community. It's lots of people who've either grown up and stayed or grown up, left and come back again. So there's a real sense of community in the church and outside of the church. The church has quite good attendance, but compared to the number of people that live in the parish, we're barely over 1% really. So I'm quite excited about working with the church to look at how we can get outside of our comfort zone and use that sense of welcome to try and reach beyond the people that we're reaching at the moment. So I think there's a lot of opportunities in Burscough.
Hobbies and interests?
So I'm a big football fan. I support Arsenal, which I'm a lone voice. I think there's 2 other people in my church actually that support Arsenal, but I'll be quite a lone voice in Burscough. I love playing football, and one of my big hobbies is making bread, and I have my own sourdough starter that's now nearly 3 years old. I'm very proud of it. It's like my little pet, and I went into the local school and I've challenged them to come up with a name for my pet. So yeah, watch this space.